The sun rose above the mountains as it shines through the room that everyone was sleeping in with the people waking up. Jaune, including the sisters, would leave the ballroom and have the showers, brush their teeth and eat. Jaune, who had 2 bowls of rice, 3 slices of toast, a bowl of soup and tamago cake. Gohan was chowing down with a smile with chopsticks as everyone would look at him. Yang. Ah. Jaune. You're eating quite a bit. Will you be okay for the exams? Eating too much usually would impact the action of people and upset their stomach, but to Jaune, it never affects him. Jaune. Yeah, I'll be good. This is quite good though. RWBY. Ah. Ha. After breakfast, as everyone watched him finished it at fast speeds, as was astonished by it, would leave to grab their weapons. There were 2 excited people who were talking who leaves the armory, as with Yang and RWBY speaking to each other. RWBY. Wonder what those 2 are so worked up about. Yang. Oh, who knows. So, you seem awfully chipper this morning. RWBY. Yep. No more awkward small talk or and quat. Getting to know you and quat stuff. Today, I get to let my sweetheart do the talking. She strokes crescent rose happily. Yang. Well, remember, RWBY, you're not the only one going through initiation. If you wanna grow up, you're gonna have to meet new people and learn to work together. To which RWBY sighs frustrated. RWBY. You sound like Dad. Okay, first of all, what does meeting new people have to do with fighting? And secondly, I don't need people to help me grow up. I drink milk. Jaune came out of nowhere and spoke. Jaune. Ah, last time I checked, milk doesn't help you grow in the way Yang is meaning. Yang. See, but what about when we form teams? RWBY appeared to be nervous. RWBY. I don't know. I'll just be on your or Jaune team or something. Yang brought her hair around her and rubs it. Yang. Maybe you should try being on someone else's team. Though I do know Jaune would be happy to be with you, but RWBY. My dear sister Yang, are you implying that you do not wish to be on the same team as me? Yang. What? No. Of course I do. I just thought. I don't know. Maybe it would help you break out of your shell. RWBY. What the? I don't need to break out of my shell. That's absolutely Jaune. Perhaps she is right. I have been noticing how reserved you seem to be around people, and perhaps this is the chance for you to gain friends. Yang. Why yeah. Like how Jaune put it. Yang tilts her head to Jaune. Yang. Thanks Jaune. Jaune would reply with honor and quat. And quat. As RWBY would. Saying random words to explain that she doesn't need anyone beside them, but failing. RWBY. Jaune. Please don't agree with her. Jaune. Apologies. Yang. Wait, where is your weapon, Jaune? And wow. Your clothing and armor looks amazing. Jaune. Thank you for the compliment. I made them myself. As for my weapon, it is currently concealed, so I rather not bring it out when we need to head out to the cliffs. Yang. Ah. Wait, you made them? Jaune nods. Jaune. I'm quite good at knitting and as well as blacksmithing. Suddenly, Glinda made an announcement plays on the intercom system. Glinda. Would all first-year students please report to Beacon Cliff for initiation? Again. All first-year students report to Beacon Cliff immediately. Yang. Well, let's go. Yang was excited. And leave with RWBY and Jaune following her. The Beacon Cliff, overlooking the Emerald Forest, where several students are standing on silver tiles in front of a mug holding Professor Ozpin and Glinda with her tablet. Ozpin. For years, you have trained to become warriors, and today, your abilities will be evaluated in the Emerald Forest. Glinda. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard rumors about the assignment of teams. Well, allow us to put an end to your confusion. Each of you will be given teammates. Today. RWBY. What? Oh. Ozpin. These teammates will be with you for the rest of your time here at Beacon. So it is in your best interest to be paired with someone with whom you can work well. RWBY groans. Ozpin. That being said, the first person you make eye contact with after landing will be your partner for the next 4 years. RWBY looked shocked as mirrors her world cracking like glass and falling apart. RWBY. What? Jaune. Threat. Not RWBY. I'm sure you will get a great partner. RWBY. Thanks. I hope so. Unknown loud girl. See? I told you. Ozpin. After you've partnered up, make your way to the northern end of the forest. You will meet opposition along the way. Do not hesitate to destroy everything in your path, or you will die. Jaune stretches. Ozpin. You will be monitored and graded through the duration of your initiation, but our instructors will not intervene. You will find an abandoned temple at the end of the path containing several relics. Each pair must choose one and return to the top of the cliff. We will regard that item, as well as your standing, and grade you appropriately. Are there any questions? No hand was raised. Ozpin. Good. Now, take your positions. Everyone strikes a pose on their tile. Yang raises her fists, RWBY readies her body. And Jaune stood still preparing to be launched. Then people in the line started to be launched. Yang winks at her younger sister and Jaune puts on a pair of aviators wear are usually worn by pilot when taking off, and flies off with her and Woohoo! And a second before RWBY looks at Jaune as he looks back and nod with her encouraging smile as she smiles and look forward and the scent forwards as Jaune joins her. The sight of the forest while flying in the sky was certainly a beautiful one. However, the descent was the part Jaune had to be careful about, so using acrobats to leap off lightly off a bird to where they would hardly feel anything as he land softly on their backs and leaps to another and continue till the ground where he landed safely as forest. There was quite a few small creatures wandering around. Jaune would lift up his hand as a small bird would land on his hand as Jaune softly pat its head. Animals has always seemed to love Jaune presence and feel completely comfortable and happy and would never attack or run away from him. He smiles till his gaze went straight through the bushes where there were growls. The creatures retreated same as the bird as Jaune move his hand slowly to his hips and opens his hand. As there was a blue mist around came to his hand as he grips it. Suddenly Beowulf Grimm would walk in front of him as he crouches down and places his sword that was hidden in mist behind his neck as he charged forwards with immense speed and slice a whole Grimm in half as the Grimm would charge and attack him. Jaune swung his sword as he chops some in half and deflected another one strike as he charged straight through it with a slice attack. Jaune leaps upwards and spin as two Beowulf Grimm that tried to slice him would miss and paid the mistake as Jaune while he spun in the air he would slice off the beasts' heads, and as soon as he landed, a attack from another Grimm was sent at him as Jaune leaps upwards and spin as two Beowulf Grimm that tried to slice him would miss and paid the mistake as Jaune while he spun in the air he would slice off the beasts' heads. And as soon as he landed, a attack from another Grimm was sent at him as it nearly hit him if it wasn't for his instincts and speed, where he shifted his foot to the right and as his body follows the flow as Jaune twisted as his hands follow suit with gripping the sword, would then a almost unlockable strike through the beast neck and kills it. Jaune then standing back up straight as he killed all other Grimm, would about to continue forward a Ursa Grimm that came from now where would then try to attack Jaune from behind but failed when a red spear came flying straight at its head and kills it. Jaune, who already noticed what was happening, turned to the left where a red hair Spartan female walks from the bush. She had a surprised expression but would smile. Spartan. Greeting. She waved as Jaune turns to her and nods. Jaune. Greetings as well. Thanks you for dealing with that Grimm. Spartan. No need to worry about it. From the looks of it, you could have killed it without me interfering. Sorry. Jaune. Nonsense. You did a great job either way. Thank you. Spartan would run the back of her head and grab her weapon. Spartan. It appears that we are partners. Jaune. It seemed like we need introduction then. My name is Jaune Arc. Spartan. It's nice to meet your Jaune. As it was now quite as Jaune tilts his head as then the girl seemed to realized she never said her name. Spartan. I'm sorry. My name is Pyrrha. Nikos. Jaune. It is nice to meet you, Pyrrha. It would be best to not stay in the same area for too long. Let us go and find the relics, Jaune. It is nice to meet you, Pyrrha. It would be best to not stay in the same area for too long. Let us go and find the relics. Jaune walks off as Pyrrha seems surprised. Pyrrha. Thoughts. And what? Wait. Doesn't he know of me? And what? She starts to smile and runs to catch up with the wandering hooded man. Pyrrha. Coming Tilda. The walk in the forest was a nice one since they didn't get attacked by the creature of Grimm, which are beasts that are black and have white armor around their body with glowing red eyes. Pyrrha and Jaune chatted for a while till they saw a feather floated down to them as Jaune caught it and looks at it. Jaune. This is. He looks up. Where there was a Nevermore Grimm flying to the area they are heading. Pyrrha. A Nevermore. Where did it came from? Jaune. This is not good. Pyrrha. Let's hurry. She nodded as they ran to where they heading as the Nevermore Grimm was going in that direction. Jaune, who was a lot faster than Pyrrha, already completely outran her, which surprised her and wondered how fast her partner was. However, for Jaune, during their run he noticed someone falling from the sky and acting fast. He ran fast and jumped to a tree branches and leaned forwards as he completely disappeared as he leaped to reach branches of the tree and kept leaping till he saw the destroyed altar where they needed to go, as well as the girl he noticed was RWBY was coming to the ground fast. He then leaped in the end, caught her before she could hit the ground and held her tight as he landed besides the altar where Yang and the black hair bow girl beside her, which was presumably Yang partner with another two people. Who was the loud girl and the quiet boy? Yang. Whoa. Jaune, who was holding RWBY, would stand and gentle release RWBY. Jaune. Are you okay, RWBY? RWBY. Huh. Oh. Thanks, Jaune. He just sighed. Yang. RWBY. Don't do something that crazy again. RWBY. Sorry. Pyrrha. Jaune. Pyrrha, who ran out the forest line, would run to him. Jaune. Apologies for leaving you. I needed to save someone who was being foolish. Pyrrha. It's all right. Then another voice came from the sky, which was the Heratrus Vice Schnee. Vice. How could you leave me? RWBY. I said. And quat. Jump and quat. The vice started to fall. Blake. She's gonna fall. RWBY. She'll be Fine. Quiet boy. She's falling. Jaune sighs and rubs his head, then sprinted forwards, but instead of just standing there to catch her, he ran to a tree and ran up from it and leaped to great height. In the air as he spun and caught himself in air and put out his arm where Vice Schnee landed in his arm. Vice, who noticed they were still in the air, would hug him tightly as Jaune leans backwards in the air as they descend and spun around as Vice would hug him even tightly, but Jaune had a composed expression as when they were about to hit the ground, Jaune would just land casually, as he would now be holding on a terrified girl. This made him worried. Jaune, it is all right now. Miss, you are safe. He spoke in a quite soft tone to calm down the girl as she did calm down as she look around and look at Jaune. Despite having half of his face hidden, would show a soft smile as Vice smiled. Vice. My hero tilde my name is Vice Schnee. May I know yours tilde? Vice. My hero tilde my name is Vice Schnee. May I know yours tilde? Jaune. It's Jaune Arc. Jaune would gentle place her down as she couldn't help but try to stare at Jaune to at least see the face of her savior, but failed. RWBY. Hey Vice. Vice would then have an annoyed expression as she looks at her partner. Vice. You dunce. Before she spoke, a Grimm that was a large scorpion named Deathstalker would came from the forest and ran towards everyone. RWBY. I got it. RWBY ran forward at the Grimm. Yang. RWBY. Wait. RWBY fires Crescent Rose and charges at the oncoming Deathstalker. When the two meet, the Grimm swipes RWBY away and she is knocked back. RWBY. Deedu, don't worry. Totally fine. RWBY turns back to the monster and shoots it in the skull, running away from it and sheathing her scythe as the Deathstalker now goes after her. Yang began running to RWBY. Yang. RWBY. RWBY rushes towards Yang, but the Nevermore caws above them, flapping its wings and releasing lines of sharpened feathers with points that catch on RWBY's cape and prevent Yang from reaching her. Yang. RWBY. Get out of there. RWBY. I'm trying. The Deathstalker approaches, raising its golden stinger above a scared RWBY and heading down on the helpless red-hooded girl. Yang tried to reach out to her. Yang. RWBY. Jaune, who now dashed towards RWBY, would then grab the mist of the sword and slice down at the Grimm before it could hit her with the entire slice attack, cutting straight through the entire Deathstalker as well as moved the feather that was sticking out RWBY hood. RWBY, who now opened her eyes, would look up to see the man named Jaune Arc had his hood down as he brought his hand towards her and smiles. RWBY, who now opened her eyes, would look up to see the man named Jaune Arc had his hood down as he brought his hand towards her and smiles. RWBY would reach up and grabbed his hand as he helped her up, as she couldn't help but stare at his face as her face became red. Jaune. Are you okay, RWBY? RWBY. Huh. Why yeah. I am. She was too caught up with his looks that she never noticed her sister came beside her and hugged her tightly. Yang. I'm so glad you're all right. RWBY. Yang. Stop it. It's hurting. Yang. Would then release RWBY and thanks Jaune. Yang. Thanks Jaune. Jaune knew that his hood was down but decided to leave it down since they have more pressing matter to deal with. Jaune. With that done, we need to go before the Nevermore come around again. They nod as they went back to the destroyed altar as everyone stare at Jaune as he goes and grab a relic with RWBY. RWBY. We need to leave. We got the relics and now we need to go to the cliffs. RWBY ran forwards as everyone runs with her except a smiling Yang and Blake as the latter approaches her partner. Blake. What is it? Yang staring proudly at RWBY as she leaps on a boulder and motions the group onward. Yang. Nothing. She moves on as Blake smiles in realization and leaves as well. As they ran to the cliff where there was abandoned series of structures was in front of them a Grim that was similar to the Grim Jaune killed came towards them as they ran forwards. Yang. Oh come on. The Nevermore. Grim then fly over their heads and perch on the top of the columns and core. Yang groans in annoyance from these two Grim appearing. As they ran the Deathstalker got closer to them. Quiet. Boy. Nora. Distracted. Nora who was the loud girl nods. Nora who was the loud girl nods Nora. On. It Ren. Ren whose name of the quiet boy. Nora jumping through the feather projectiles before reaching behind her and launching several heart-topped shells from her grenade launcher, bursting into pink electricity when they hit the Nevermore and causing it to retreat. Nora jumping through the feather projectiles before reaching behind her and launching several heart-topped shells from her grenade launcher, bursting into pink electricity when they hit the Nevermore and causing it to retreat. She is unaware of the Deathstalker rushing up behind her until Jaune rushed behind her and deflect each of the claw as he grabs Nora and jump back. They were running across the bridge until the Nevermore came crashing into it, breaking it in half as Blake, Pyrrha and Ren was facing the Deathstalker. Jaune. We need to get over. Nora leaped and slammed her hammer behind him, which lifted up Jaune as she then holds on her weapon upside down and shoot it, which sent her flying as she grabbed Jaune and threw him over as she flies over the head of everyone and slam her hammer at the Grim. Jaune reached out his hand to Blake as she noticed and grabbed it as Jaune the twist and threw Blake in the air right at the Nevermore as she strikes it with Jaune now in the spot. Blake was as she charged the Grim and send kick straight at its head as it get pushed back. Jaune. Ren distracted. Ren nods as he goes around the Grim and shooting it. Jaune. I'll stun it as Pyrrha. You throw your spear in its eye if you can hit the mark. Pyrrha nods. Jaune. Nora. Get ready to be launched. Jaune heads at the Grim as Ren ran past him as the Grim turned to him as Jaune grips the sword, missed and sent a slice attack that sliced off each claw of the Grim as it screeches. He then twisted his footing in a 180-degree and leaped up while spinning as he dodged the spear from coming behind him that was thrown by Pyrrha as he lands upside down on his hand but suddenly pushed off with his hands on the ground and launched himself in the air with pure strength and grabbed Nora's hand, who was sent in the air by running at Pyrrha as Pyrrha threw her upwards. Nora grins as she grabs Jaune's hand and gets thrown higher as she shifts her grenade launcher into a hammer and blast forwards at high speed and slam her hammer into the spear as it goes straight through the Grim, killing it. They land and as they grinned at each other, as Jaune grabs Pyrrha's weapon and pass it to her as she smiled at him as he nods. They turn to watch how RWBY, Yang, Vice, and the black hair girl fighting with the Nevermore Grim. As RWBY gave the killing blow to the Grim after the great teamwork they used to fight the Grim, Jaune smiled. Beacon will truly be a special school with these amazing people. They headed back to the cliff and going back to the school. Yang. No wonder you hide your face. Jaune. Sorry. Yang. Why you apologizing? Your look damn beautiful. And how is your skin that shiny? Your hair looks especially soft. Damn it. How do you make your hair look so smooth like that? Yang was trying to figure out the secrets of Jaune. Arc of how does he maintain the looks he has. Yang bets that he has some special conditioner or makeup since no man should be that beautiful. Yang was trying to figure out the secrets of Jaune. Arc of how does he maintain the looks he has. Yang bets that he has some special conditioner or makeup since no man should be that beautiful. Most the girls in the ship was peeping at his looks. Even some guys. Wow. Some girls starting to say his nickname is Prince Charming after his looks of that of a prince, and his armor and clothing beneath his armor looks like some royal knight. That resembles of stories of a knight as he goes on a adventure to slay dragons Grimms and save the princesses of all the land. This just made him even better in the girls' opinions since he is basically a living knight. Jaune. I only use some of the conditioner that my older sister made, since she says it will help with the silkiness of the hair. Yang. Whoa. Can you lend me some? He nods. Jaune. Of course. I'll send my sister a message to make some more and send them. Yang. Yes. Thanks Jaune. RWBY. You really do look like the knights from the stories. RWBY was staring at him. She loved those stories with a hero as they slay creatures and do their best for mankind. Jaune. Thank you for that compliment. He smiles as he rubs the back of his head and laugh lightly. Jaune. My dream is to be a knight after all. Yang. It is. Damn. I bet you're already RWBY's knight after saving her. RWBY starts to blush. RWBY. Yang. Stop. Yang laughs as RWBY tried to have her angry expression, but her embarrassed face couldn't be hide. RWBY. Still. Thank you for saving me Jaune. Jaune smiled. Jaune. It is no trouble at all. Vice. So Jaune thanks for saving me as well. Jaune looks behind him as Vice was smiling at him. This confused him for a bit since her attitude towards everyone else, or mainly Yang and RWBY, didn't exactly make her seem the nicest person. Nevertheless, Jaune nods with a smile at Vice. Jaune. Thank you, but you shouldn't do such a dangerous thing. Thing goes for you as well RWBY. It will hurt you guys if you do that. Jaune was scolding them for doing such dangerous things that if Jaune wasn't there, then who knows would have happened to them. This only made Vice like him more, since she secretly always liked more matured man, and not like older man, but maturity of the man, maturity that Jaune always had, which showed and proved that he is unlike other boys at his age. Jaune. Arc. Or called Prince Charming, will be known about him from majority of the female. They finally made it back to Beacon as everyone arrived at the amphitheater as the team reveals are now getting told. Ozpin. Russell Thrush. Cardan Winchester. Dove Bronzewing. Skylark. The four of you retrieved the Black Bishop pieces. From this day forward, you will work together as Team CRDL, led by Cardan Winchester. The audience claps, while four students walk up to the stage to take their places in front of the headmaster as their faces fill the screen. Ozpin. Jaune Arc. Lai Ren. Pyrrha Nikos. Nora Valkyrie. The four of you retrieved the White Rook pieces. From this day forward, you will work together as Team JNPR. Everyone the claps again. Nora laughs and gives Ren a hug. Ozpin. Led by Jaune Arc. Jaune. Oh, I'm a leader. Ozpin. Congratulations, young man. A grinning Pyrrha offers a friendly shoulder bump to Jaune. Jaune. Let's get along well. He smiles. As Pyrrha, Nora and Ren nods with a smile as they get off the stage. Ozpin. And finally, Blake. Belladonna. Ruby Rose. Vice Schnee. Yang Xiao Long. The four of you retrieved the White Knight pieces. From this day forward, you will work together as Team RWBY. Led by Ruby Rose. Vice. looks to her right surprised, where RWBY is obviously shocked as Yang goes over to hug her sister. Yang, I'm so proud of you. After the clap of everyone calms down. Ozpin, it looks like things are shaping up to be an interesting year. They all headed to their dorms that were assigned to them and go to sleep. As the night come to the close, so does this as chapter 3 of the great story of Jaune arc, The Future King of Nights, comes to its ending.